Hi, my name is Saif, and this is my LMS project, a library management system. And today I'm gonna showcase the whole thing and explain it step by step. Now, what I did was create four classes: a first base class, which is general lib. Lib stands for library. This class is the base class, and basically the other three classes are derived from general lib. The three classes are book, loan, and borrower. Now, going to lib here, we're going to see that the reason it's the base class is that it has an ID, and all of the other derived classes must have IDs in them. The first one is loan. Um, Loan has a loan ID, book has a book ID, and borrower has a borrower ID too, just to make things easy. And so yeah, you've got the ID, and it's protected just so that it can be used by other derived classes. And you've got a print info function. It's a virtual function, and it uses polymorphism to force derived classes to have their own print info. Um, like every derived class is going to have to print its info at some point. That's why it's in the base class. And um, yeah, and you've got the constructor that initializes the ID, an ID getter, and a destructor. Now the CPP is not very huge, as you might see. Okay, let's talk about book. Book is the first class, and again, as I said, it's derived from general lib. You've got some very basic information like the author, title, genre, price, availability status, a publication year, and the status thing is just to like show if the book is available or not. You've got a constructor, a bunch of getters, a bunch of setters, and yeah, here's the print info function that I was talking about, and yeah, it says override. Now here's the CPP for it, the implementation. You've got these basic details, the print function, the functions in more detail. Again, you can pause if you want to take a look at anything. Um, Here's borrower. Again, some very basic information like the name, contact info, outstanding fines, and the borrowing history of the borrower, if the borrower has borrowed anything before. Another constructor, and you've got some getters and some setters, but this time you've got two new functions. The first one is add borrowed books, which adds a borrowed book to the string vector, and the other one is pay fine, which it's basically a function to pay um, from outstanding fines that later subtracts from it. And you've got the print info function that I was talking about. Yeah, it's everywhere. That's the CPP file for it. Nothing crazy. Um, you've got the loan.h1. Yeah, it also inherits from general lib. Now I've used pointers for this one, for the book and the borrower, instead of copying the whole thing. You know, it's much less work, and I think it's less processing time too. A loan date and a due date, and finally a fine. I think these are all essential for the loan. A constructor, again, some getters, some setters, and a calculate fine function that takes in the current date and the daily fine rate. And finally, the print function, the print info that I was talking about. Now, my main CPP, on the other hand, is huge. So I've got, yeah, I don't think I've got the time to fully explain everything here. I'm just gonna go over it real quick. This is a function that calculates revenue for financial reports. Another function, but this time it's by genre. This one is by month. This one just displays the financial reports, add loans. Again, some very basic functions, and you could pause if you want to. Everything is commented on, I think. This one saves and loads the data. And finally, you've got the menu or the options. And here's the main part of the program. Now I've used these initialized examples just, so that I can show you some stuff in the library. And these switch statements are for the menu. Every option breaks if you choose it. It's very basic stuff. Now let's try and use this thing. Now pressing on 1, it shows us that we have a total revenue of 0, and it doesn't show us anything in the general month because we haven't really paid any fines or did anything. So basically no money in the library. Now let's choose 5, which is adding a new book. Enter new book ID, 1, 2, 3, enter new book title. Let's say Dragon, enter book author, say Saif, genre, sci-fi. Okay, let's try and add a borrower. I'm gonna keep it the same ID, so this just so I can remember. Okay, added successfully. Let's add a new loan. Yeah, it shows the borrowers list, which is a nice thing, I think. Yeah, let's choose the book that I added. Let's just pick a random date. And it calculated a fine of $0. It's because I chose the the current date is the same as the due date, so you've got no fines. Let's try and pay fines for that. Let's see what's gonna show. The loan ID is 1. Yeah, it's given right here. Let's just pay 0. And yeah, so this payment successful, remaining fine is 0. Now let's try and save the data. It says data saved successfully, and close the whole thing. Let's try to run it again, just to see if it has saved anything. Now let's load the data. Let's try paying a fine just to see if anything was saved. And yeah, you've got save here, which is the input that we had the last time. So I think it saved the data. Thank you so much. Again, this was my project for the library management system.